and I'm with Cabinet Pro Software. Today we're going to be discussing the CNC aspect of Cabinet Pro. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., same time as today, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be discussing, in fact, we'll be demonstrating how to make a job from start to finish, all the way from design to bitting to cut listing to CNC. Now, Cabinet Pro is designed in general to take you from three-dimensional design to bid reports, invoicing, cutlass reports, door reports, and then to panel optimization, either for a panel saw, table saw, or CNC. And then we also go from there directly to the CNC itself. So make sure you write down any questions on the chat that is on your right. And if you have more detailed questions, which you probably will have, just give us a call. We all know that this particular medium of discussion, of communication, is not the greatest in the world. The best way of communicating is in person. The second best way is by telephone. So just give us a call and we can discuss your requirements and even schedule a personalized demo for you so that you can see exactly how the program would operate on your computer. So let's go directly to my screen. Now, earlier in the week, we've had a little glitch when we tried this. So if we do have a glitch this time, just hang in there and I will adjust it to fix it. We'll be right back. But hopefully this will go. Okay, we are at the opening screen of Cabinet Pro. And what you see in front of you is a BSA router. Now, let me make sure I am very clear about one thing, and that is that we do not endorse any router whatsoever. BSA is here just as an example. If you go to the CNC Setup and then to Machine Setup and Post Processor, you can actually load up any particular post processor that you want. Now, we have quite a few of them. Here's Anderson Genesis, Axis, etc. We have just quite a few. We do not endorse any of these routers, even though most of them are phenomenal. Some of them are not so hot, but we do support all routers. In fact, we even support routers that don't exist yet. That's how open our post processor is. It's user defined, and you can change things very, very easily on your end if you don't like the way the post processor is processing your CNC. Now, what I want to do here is just process one cabinet very quickly. Generally, you would be processing a whole job or multiple rooms up to 2,500 cabinets, but we're not going to do that because that would take 2 or 3 minutes per process, and we don't have that kind of time. So in this 15 minutes, we're just going to process one particular cabinet so you can see how it is generated. So we're going to go to reports. We could go directly to nested CNC, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go to the cutlass reports first because I want to show you something there. If I ignore everything except cabinet number 6, which is a B48 base cabinet, and I go to the cutlass reports, what you'll see is that we have a SEM Pradix machine, and we also can put a BSA Rover in there or Clever in there. Cabinet Pro supports BSA Works. It supports BSB Solid, CIX files. It supports wiki files for Woodworking, HomeEgg. It supports a multitude of variations of G code. So this particular Pradix machine is a G code machine. So Cabinet Pro also supports multiple CNC routers, not just one. So what I have set up here is 2 routers. For example, for my door CNC parts, which I have selected here, I am telling the program that I want to send this to the Pradix machine. So when I hit the OK button, watch what happens. We're going to go to optimization, and we just optimized a couple of panels. If I click CNC over here, we have 2 panels that are being processed. All the machining for those panels is going to be done during that processing, because Cabinet Pro does not send DXF files anywhere. We used to do that a long time ago, but we found that we have a lot more freedom. It's a lot quicker, a lot fewer glitches, if any. You don't want any glitches in CNC processing if we just do the processing ourselves. So this is the G code that was just produced, and this is a drawing that shows what's being cut out. Now, let's take a different one. I'm going to go to Reports, go to Cutlass Reports, and this time I'm going to process the cabinet CNC. I'm doing the whole job. I don't want to do that. So let's go back to Reports, do only the one cabinet, go to Cutlass Reports again, and this time, instead of sending the cut list to the Pradix, I'm going to go to Case Parts, a different cut list, and that's going to go to the BSA Clever. And there's quite a few different setup options that we have. I'll go through in a few minutes. But if I hit the OK button at this point, we have our cut list, we have our CNC. Notice we have remnants that are going to be cut out. These will be used for future jobs. We covered that in panel optimization yesterday, so we won't do that today. Here we have, if we want to look at the machining for this left unfinished end, we could look at it as opposed to blindly making the CNC code for it. So what you're going to see is here we have blind dado. Here we have dados for a couple of stretches, it looks like, and we have a little thin dado back here for it looks like a 1/4 inch back. Here we have adjustable shelf holes. Over here we have our door hinge plate holes, and we have our drawer guide holes. So if I press the CNC button at this point, we're going to do the exact same thing we did a few minutes ago, only with a different router this time. Or maybe we are still in, well, here's our code, and we're still in G code. So let me change that back. Well, I'm not going to do that at this point. We can change it from SCM to BSA and get the exact same diagram here, but different code. If we go over to our CNC setup, well, let's just do it real quick. We have a BSA rover CID. We want to load that. And now, when we generate the same code, this time I'm going to ignore the cut list. I'm going to go directly to this nested CNC direct. Now, at that point, we're going to click CNC itself. And now we have a totally different language. And this language is for BSA. BSA works. We have a language for B solid as well. So now, in the CNC setup, we have a number of different aspects that make this very, very nice. If, for example, we are looking at what we call CNC Smart Rules, there's 23 of them here. As you see on the very top here, Rule 1 of 23 rules. And the way this works is we have adjustable shelf holes. All that is some machining, some holes. And we want to put those on unfinished ends whenever adjustable shelf holes exist on a left unfinished end. And where do we want to put it? Right here, right in the center of the hole. That's a location. Here are some pieces of information that tell us how far from the front, how far from the back, how far from the top and bottom, if we have a full column of holes. And there's quite a few different options here. I'm not going to go through them all, but I do want to say this. The way we have it set up right now, we have if we have up to 2 shelves, we're telling it we want 5 holes per shelf. So if we wanted to look at the machining, we can look at this wall cabinet here. Well, how about a different wall cabinet, because that's a little short guy. Here's a tall wall cabinet, standard size, and you'll see that we have 2 shelves. Now we also have 1, 2, 3 hinge play holes. Why? Because part of the setup tells us that if we exit out of here and we go to pull hinge and guide locations with our door hinges, right on the bottom here, it tells us if we have a door 42 inches, at least 42 inches high, then we want 3 hinges. 72 inches high, 4 inches. 4 inches high or greater, then 5 hinges. So this information is part of the setup, and you can have as many hinges as you want. That will tell us exactly where to drill holes and how many holes to drill and where to drill them. On drawer guides, we have the exact same situation here. We have as many guides as you want. You'll see lockdown here, for example. Lockdown is a little odd, or I shouldn't put it that way. It's a little different because if we looked at any of these holes and we edited this, we're seeing that we have a pocket on some of these holes. They're not holes, they're actually pockets. And in some cases, we have an actual hole. So it's a combination of a hole and pocket for the lockdown system to lock and attach the one part to another part, whether it be a drawer guide, a back, fixed shelves, bottoms, tops, etc. At any rate, what you're looking at here is a table that defines under what conditions we're going to have holes drilled and where we're going to have them drilled from the front of the cabinet. Now, the beauty of the program is that that's the front of the program, front of the cabinet after edge banding has been placed. So if we go to our room information, we can tell the program that we have what kind of edge banding we're going to be using, whether it's going to be cherry, 1mm maple, or whatever, custom PVC. And those definitions there are going to have different thicknesses of edge banding on potentially on every single edge of every single part. That's and what Cabinet Pro will do is it will figure out what edge banding you're going to have eventually on a particular part, and then move the machining that much closer by the thickness of the edge banding on that side, so that by the time you put the edge banding on, all your positioning and locations of machining is right on the money. And material, you can change material immediately. And what's also really nice about this is you can have a full job already loaded. And let's say you've got it's a frameless, and let's say it's here, let's do this. We have blind dado construction. Let's say we have blind dado construction, and in addition to that, we have blind dado CNC machining. You can process this at this point and generate machining and part dimensions for hundreds of cabinets that have already been entered or that are appropriate for blind dado construction. And then let's say your customer says, I don't want that. I want dowel construction. You can change this one place to, well, I'll use lock dowel. What the heck? Lock dowel construction, or maybe you're going to be mailing these out, shipping these out. Now, when you look at your machining, we'll just do one, and then we'll call it quits here because I've just been given a 1 minute warning. So we have a wall unit, and if I were to look at this side with lock dowel construction, we're looking at, and we're going to view the machining here. You'll see that here we have nothing. So apparently we don't have any machining set up for this. So, oh well. But if we were to set up the machine for lock dowel, we would find let's see if we have something else in here. B48. And we look at this particular part, view the machining on it, and we don't have anything there. So, okay, so we don't have any machining set up for lockdown for that particular router because we have two different routers here. One's BSA and one was SCM. So the BSA router did not have any machining set up for it. So we are going to now, we're going to go ahead and quit this. And tomorrow, we're going to go through the through a job. We're going to actually present an entire job from start to finish. And at that particular time, I'll make sure that the lockdown is part of the machining for whatever router we're going to be using. Because see, each router has its own set of tools and its own set of machining operations. So you can have it on one but not the other. And so I just made a mistake and had it on a router that did not have the tools for the lockdown programmed into it. That's all. I will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And in the meantime, you have a good day.